You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Hi, and thank you for joining me for this upper body movement and mobility practice. A very short sequence just to open up through the shoulder girdle into the chest and the upper back. So taking obviously the practice at your own pace, your own level, making modifications as they need to be made by you, and knowing your range of motion and any limitations within your body. It'll be handy just to have a strap with you today. One that doesn't stretch would be helpful. So a yoga belt by the side of your mat, but we're going to start seated, and you can sit on a block, you can be kneeling, you can sit cross-legged, but whatever is most comfortable for you. So I'm going to start in butterfly position. Let's just take a few moments to become centered and draw awareness into our upper body. So hands might come out to the side of you, palms face up, relax the elbows, allow the shoulders just to rest down the back, creating length between the ears and the collarbones. Taking steady breaths, breathing in and out of equal length through the nostrils. And just taking note of how you feel today in your upper body. Create expansion through the rib cage, through the lungs as you breathe in, front, sides, and back. And as you breathe out, letting go of tightness and tension anywhere you might be holding that within the body. And gently wiggle the fingers. Start to bring movement into the wrists, circling one way, circling the other. Gently bring that movement into the shoulders, circling the shoulders up towards the ears on your inhale and circling back and down on the exhale. So you want to imagine drawing a big circle with the top of your shoulder. And just noticing any of those clicks and crunches and the smoothness of that ball and socket joint of the shoulder. And then lifting the arms up above the head. Give yourself a big stretch. Feel the sides of your body stretching up from the hips. So reach the fingers high. Maybe the arms are a little bit wider if you have particularly tight shoulders. Or maybe you can bring the palms together and you can interlace the fingers and press up through the palms. Maybe you lift the chest, gentle back bend, and look towards the hands. And gently release the hands, lift the knees together, and just give yourself a big hug, resting the belly, the chest over the thighs, letting the head release down. And then sending the legs out in front of you here. And just bringing the arms out into cactus. So you've got a gentle bend at the elbow, palms are facing forward, relax the shoulders away from the ears, reach the fingertips up, so keep the arms nice and lifted. Drawing the palms and the elbows together, keep the elbows nice and high, shoulders are down, repeating that twice more. So we breathe out as we come in And we breathe in as we open. Breathing out as we come in. And breathe in as we go out. Last time, draw the hands in towards one another. Lift the elbows, reach the fingers up. So you're keeping a nice long spine here and lifting the elbows up towards the sky. Try to squeeze those elbows together, squeeze the palms together, and then gently release. Woo, circle through the shoulders. Okay, swing the legs around behind you this time and come into kneeling. If kneeling is not comfortable for you, sit on a bolster or a block or keep the legs out in front. This time we come into our eagle pose, so the right arm goes over the left. Maybe the backs of the hands connect, or maybe you do a double wrap here, so bringing that hand on the inside. And then lifting the elbows once more, drawing the shoulders down, softening through the rib cage, creeping a nice length into the spine. Fingertips reach to the sky. Lift up the chest, tilt back a little bit here. Deep breath out, and then start to fold forward, keeping those elbows up, reaching the fingertips forward. And then you might come all the way down to the mat, but try not to draw the elbows in towards the body. Keep them away, and then you can rest them down onto the mat. Keep the spine nice and long. Broadening across the shoulders, and then reach the fingers, engage your core to bring you back up to center, and release the hand. Give yourself a stretch. The right arm is on top, so that means the left arm draws that right arm in towards the chest. And slowly release, circle through the shoulders. This means the left arm comes on top this time. Again, either backs of the hands meet or the fingertips into, do the double wrap. Reach the fingertips up, elbows draw up towards the shoulders, shoulders draw down. You soften through the rib cage and the spine, keeping lift as you breathe in. And then exhale, long spine, start to fold, reach the fingers to the front of the mat, elbows might come down to the mat, and then you find that long spine, crown of the head reaches forward, sit bones reach back. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the arms away, bring yourself up on an inhale, and then stretch that left arm out to the side, and the right arm holds it in. So you might feel something going on in this left arm. And nice and slowly release and circle through the shoulders. Let's come all the way down onto our mat into prone position. So dropping the belly down, bringing the hands underneath the head, swaying out a little bit through the hips to release the spine, release the legs after kneeling for a bit. Dropping the belly down towards the mat, relaxing the lower back and the hips. And then coming up into a sphinx pose. So the arms come out in front of you, dropping the pelvis, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat and pressing the forearms and the elbows into the mat as well. If you feel comfortable here, you might wish to draw the toes in towards one another. So the knees go a little bit wider. You can bring the toes up. Try not to drop through the chest, lifting up, dropping pelvis. Just notice how that feels into the spine, finding a steady and slow breath, never holding the breath. Release the feet and release the arms, release the body, sway out. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders this time, palms spread wide, fingertips facing forward. Just a gentle press up into cobra. Don't have to come too high, and lower. Breathing in, lifting, drawing elbows back towards the hips, shoulders away from ears, and lower. Press into the tops of the feet. Last time as you raise on the inhale, and lower. This time we come up, we stay, we take the hands off, and we hold. Draw abdomen in, use the spinal extensors. Give yourself a little bit more of a lift, and lower. Release the head to the back of the hands, and sway out through the hips. Press yourself back into tabletop and lifting up the right arm, sending it through and under into threading the needle. So right arm reaches up to the sky, thread it through and under, and that left arm might stay onto the palm or it might come forward. Keeping the hips high above the knees, pressing into tops of the feet and the shin. If you're on a hard surface, you may wish to pad out the knees underneath you here. Palms face up, reaching fingers away, twisting through the torso. Bring the left palm back, press up, and come back into that neutral tabletop. Lifting left arm up this time, sending it through and under, reaching it all the way along the mat, and either keeping that right palm in front of you or releasing it to the front of the mat, dropping the chest down towards the mat, lifting the hips high. Bringing the right arm back, placing on the palm, pressing yourself up. Come back into tabletop, sway the hips from side to side, introduce a mobilization of the spine in cat and cow, dropping belly, lifting sit bones, looking forward as you breathe in, exhaling, curling into cat. Looking forward to cow, exhale to cat. Breathe in for cow, exhale for cat. Last time, come back into that cat pose, draw the belly up to the spine, really round across the shoulders, chin to the chest, and then come back into neutral. So coming forward of your mat just a little bit, sending the right leg back behind you, just pressing into the toe beds, and find a nice alignment here, all the way from the crown of the head right down, back to the heel. So lifting up the right leg, lifting up the left arm, reach, fingertips and toes. Sweep that left arm back, and maybe it takes hold of the foot. If it doesn't, that's okay. You can still reach for it. Lift the knee, lift the thigh, lift the chest, lift the body away from the mat, press the foot into the hand, tiger pose. You've got a shoulder opening here, you've got a thigh and hip opening with a back extension. Nice and gently release. Let's take a child's pose. Knees go wide and come down, forehead onto the hands. Come back into tabletop. Left leg, tuck the toe, press into the toe beds, lengthen that leg back behind you. reach the right arm forward, left leg lifts, and then reach that arm back to take hold of the foot if it feels comfortable. Press the foot into the hand, open up knee, thigh, hip, chest. Smile in tiger. Doing great. Gently release and sway back to child's pose. Bringing the hands back underneath the head and rolling up slowly and slowly to the kneeling position once more. And coming into reverse prayer, so bringing the hands back behind you. The hands may just come to the base of the spine. You might connect the knuckles. You might take hold of the wrists. It's more about rolling the shoulders open and not forcing the wrists or forcing the shoulders. This is your reverse prayer. Maybe the hands are down at the base of the spine, but if you can, nestle them into the shoulder blades. That's great. So pressing the fingertips together, pressing the heels of the hands, sitting nice and tall, trying not to flare the ribs too much. So drawing the ribs in and down, lengthening spine, closing the eyes. If you wish to, you can come into a toe stretch at the same time. Tucking those toes underneath you. The more weight that you have back towards the heels, the more challenge that toe stretch is going to be for you. Open the chest. Try to relax the shoulders. Gently release the hands and release the toes and circle through the wrists if you went into that full reverse prayer. So this time we come into our cow face pose. This is where you might need your strap. So cow face, you can stay in kneeling or seated. You can sit on a block or a bolster. But if you want to introduce the legs, then I'm going to face you here. So the left leg would come over the right. You connect the thighs and then you start to bring the feet out to the sides. Now I am going to get myself a block here and I'm going to sit on a block behind me. Okay, so bringing those ears of the cow, stuck to the mat, out to the side. And then the strap comes in handy with the arms of cow face. So we might use this behind us. So we've got our left leg on top, which means our right arm is up above, and then the left arm comes and takes hold of the strap in the center of your back. So we want to draw that elbow up towards the sky, in towards the ear, and this arm in towards the body. Maybe the fingers connect and just sit and breathe in cow face pose. Imagine the face of a cow. Not that you're pulling the face of a cow in this posture. The legs are your option. It's more about the opening of the chest and the shoulders in this work today. And slowly release the arms. Press the palms out to the side, stretch through the wrists here, circle the wrists, circle the shoulders, one way and the other, and change the legs. Again, kneeling might be an option for you. Using that strap if necessary. So this time right leg is on top. That means left arm is up on top. Maybe connecting the fingers or using the strap. Lengthen spine. Relax shoulders away from ears, draw bicep in towards ear and upper arm in towards ribcage. A few steady breaths. Slowly release the arms out to the side. I call this the Indiana Jones moment, where you're holding the two walls that are coming in, and then circle through the wrists one way and the other, and circle the shoulders. Release the legs. Let's come down onto our backs. Last posture is our supported fish pose. So choosing an option that works for you, you can either use a pillow or a bolster, but if you have two blocks handy, using them in this T shape here, where the head rests on the back of on the top of this back block, and this block goes in between the shoulder blades. So you want to be able to nestle that block somewhere between the shoulder blades here, so that the spine and the rib cage kind of mold themselves over the block. And if you haven't done this before, you may find it a little bit uncomfortable. So make sure that there's a bit of space between the hips and the block, and as you slowly roll yourself down, make sure that it's the corners aren't digging in to anywhere, but you are supported. And then you can relax the head. Oop, probably a bit too far. And come into either the legs being straight, arms are out to the side, palms face up, or you can have your feet in butterfly position, soles of the feet together. Lift the arms up above the head if you wish to deepen the opening of the chest, just for a moment. Feel the rib cage kind of molding itself over that prop like a waterfall. And then I'm going to leave you here, and it's your choice however long you wish to stay, but I'd probably stay for 1 or 2 minutes in this supported fish pose. If you're in a bolster, you can certainly stay for much, much longer. If you're using the blocks, I'd probably recommend 1 or 2 minutes. And I'm going to end the video shortly, and you can make your way out of this posture when you are ready, maybe into Shavasana or a final seated meditation. And I thank you for joining us today. Have a good rest of your day ahead.